Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is your Kocosports.net's weekly WWE Monday Night Raw review. I'm your host, LK from Kocosports.net, and I'm joined by, and I can't believe I'm about to say this for the first time in fucking donkey's years, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Sammy. Sammy, how you doing tonight?
I'm alive. I'm, in fact, a real-life person. I know a bunch of y'all probably thought that I was just a figment of LK's imagination that he astrally projected to appear in Birmingham, Alabama, so that he could have somebody to talk about wrestling with. But in fact, contrary to popular belief, I am a real person.
Wow. And speaking of that, we have real people, real here. Win, loss, or tie. Temperature will get to your comments, thoughts, and queries about the show, but win, loss, tie, post live. Sammy, what'd you go? Win, loss, or tie for this episode of Monday Night Raw?
You know, it wasn't the worst, but there was a lot of another bullshit throwaway matches, so we'll go an even tie. I enjoyed some of it, and some of it was still a chore to get through. I think it was a good go-home for the pay-per-view, but there were still some problems.
As a wrestling show, if you went for it as a wrestling show, I would have given this a strict loss. But due to the fact the only purpose of this show is to promote the Rumble, make you buy the Rumble, and make you watch the Rumble, that ticked the boxes because that last segment was fucking perfect.
Agreed.
That final segment was fucking gold.
Like
that's the best. That is the best segment on Raw for the past. I can't remember the last time. Probably about a year at least.
Gold. How popular, and I know that's kind of cool for people to hate on Undertaker nowadays, but how powerful of a presence do you have to be in the wrestling world that you can just show up, literally just stand in a ring and not say or do anything, and people are going to get excited just because you're in the fucking ring?
It was made better because they didn't promote Taker and they didn't promote Brock. They just promoted Goldberg. That helped that a lot. If it was, okay, they promoted it all through in the building, that moment would have been like, okay, cool, we knew we were going to get it. But because they didn't do it, I think that helped it a lot. So I'm going to give it a strong tie. But if this wasn't a go-home show, probably a loss. Anyway, so we're live from Cleveland, Ohio. Actual surprisingly good crowd tonight. Good building. Do you know where that building is? It's a very nice building. It looks like it's been refurbed. It looks really nice.
It is. I do believe it has been recently renovated, especially because, you know, with LeBron going back up there and the Cavaliers doing pretty damn good. But don't quote me on that. They could have. That could be a very old building. I don't really keep up with the NBA, so forgive me, my fellow American sports fans. I'm not an NBA guy. But it was a good crowd, good building.
Very good crowd. I really, really enjoyed that. I still can't get over the main event. It's taken me a while. That main event was fucking amazing. That was a really, not main event, that main segment.
Yeah, that final segment.
Damn. And I apologize to everyone listening live who didn't get a notification saying we were going live. YouTube are fucking imbeciles. Anyway, we'll get to breaking this bad boy down. We just want to go to bed at a respectable time. So the show starts off with, as Michael Cole calls him, the big dog. Roman Reigns, he comes out. There's the shark cage in the ring. Reigns says he will win the Universal title on Sunday. Kevin Owens interrupts. Reigns wants his rematch for the US title. Kevin Owens accepts it on Jericho's behalf. Reigns says he'll win the US and Universal title because he's the guy. How to get fucking heat on him even more. We've seen Reigns and Jericho about 18,000 times at this point. It's just pure laziness, and it's damn right disgraceful.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. This is how rough it is to get through Raw sometimes, and I think I say this on every fucking Raw review we do. I'm actually about to make a really bold statement because you've heard me say this for about a year now, and I'm about to make it because of Raw. Kevin Owens is no longer my favorite wrestler in the entire world. He's still in like my top 5, but I don't care about him as much as I used to because of Raw.
It is insane. And during this opening segment, I was so bored because I only come in here when I do the show. So when I came in here, I had a nice little treat on my wall. Now, this may surprise a few of you, and it may not, but this really did crack me up. I have now, according to this, office rules. Number 1. Take your rubbish and put it in the bin where it belongs. Number 2, stop putting your cans or any drink on my desk. I have important paperwork that does not need to be sticky. Thank you, you imbecile. If you do not comply, office lock will be changed. That's what I came down to. I was already in a bad-ish mood, but you know, I got myself a bin bag and I sorted my rubbish out. So that, you know, at least got my attention for the first hour of Raw. But no, the opening segment was a waste of time. And I don't recommend anyone to go through and watch that.
I just want the prize fighter Kevin Owens back. Like the Kevin Owens Jericho thing, it succeeds where it needs to succeed. It kind of does its own thing. I don't hate it. I still think Chris Jericho is on my Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers as far as history goes, but I want Kevin Owens, the prize fighter, back. And I don't know who's taken his spot as my number one favorite wrestler in the entire world yet. I have yet decided.
Pentagon?
I do fucking love Pentagon Jr. a lot. Y'all have heard me say that about 1 billion fucking times, but I don't know. It's not Kevin Owens anymore, and that's sad because I want it to be Kevin Owens. I just don't care.
Yeah, it is a problem. Speaking of not caring, it's Cesaro versus Luke Gallows. This is this kind of promotion of the club versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the tag titles on the Rumble pre-show, because that's how much the tag titles mean. In that match, there's 2 referees. And they do this thing where, because we've seen this so many times, they have to put a stipulation on, and the best they could come up with is 2 referees. Everything has to have a stipulation on, because we've seen it so many times already. Because they no longer build anything. It's just, oh, okay, we'll give you that at the pay-per-view, and we'll give you this on Raw. But we've already seen this, so why would I pay for it? But I wish it was Cesaro versus Anderson. That was another fucking annoying thing.
I like Gallows a lot, and the match wasn't terrible. It was just, we've seen it a million times. And I with Gallows getting the win, usually they only do that if they're checking it out. So I severely hope that the club actually wins the fucking titles. I'm scared they're going to keep it on in Cesaro, Sheamus.
I think they will. I think they will. And Cesaro, the crowd are really getting behind him, and that's only a positive. The crowd really are getting behind him.
I think he needs a big, good showing at the Rumble. Like, he needs to go in there like 5 and just start waxing house on people.
Yeah, I think just a really good Rumble will do him no harm. The match ends when Anderson distracts Cesaro. Gallows hits a super kick plus a fucked up, whatever you want to call it, TKO to get the win. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It was just lazy. And then we go backstage. Mick Foley's in the office talking to Stephanie on the phone. Zayn walks in. He wants to be in the Rumble. Stephanie says Zayn can be in the Rumble if he beats Seth Rollins tonight. Now, if I'm right, everyone else on this whole entire damn show have been coming out and saying they're in the Rumble when they haven't earned it, where they didn't win a match. They're just in because they say they are. Why is it different for Sami Zayn? Why couldn't Sami Zayn send out a tweet like Seth Rollins and say, hey, I'm in the Royal Rumble? Why is he the one who has to?
Because he's the underdog.
And I don't care if he's the underdog. Why that makes the New Day heels then? Because the New Day automatically entered. That makes them dicks.
I don't think it makes the New Day's heel. I think they're trying to put heat on Stephanie because everyone else has got their way in, and poor Sami Zayn all of a sudden is, you've got to earn your way in. Because, and I think that goes back to Sami Zayn is really only a great character when he's working from underneath. And I kind of like what they're doing with Sami Zayn's character right now anyway, with him being kind of a goofball and getting serious when he needs to get serious. But this didn't actually bug me. It's awful bad, and I kind of felt like there's going to be a lot of people who will be like, oh, this is stupid. It's like, it made sense to me because, A, he works better from underneath. B, it's going to put heat on Stephanie because, she is being a bitch about it.
If this was, if they did loads of qualifying matches throughout the 6 weeks build to this pay-per-view, I'd be like, yeah, this is great. Mm-hmm. But this is the first time they've done it because they're lazy and imbecilic.
I'll give you that. It should have been built up a week or two longer, if not several weeks longer.
Then we go a sit-down interview of Bayley and Corey Graves. They're just promoting the Rumble, and she just obviously claims she'll beat Charlotte and was very confident about it. I like these little segments. It kind of, when you're always seeing the ring and the stupid GM office and that stupid interview area, sometimes it's nice to go to that sit-down interview environment, and it makes it feel like an actual match, not like, okay, it's scripted. Because if in MMA, obviously MMA, there's the press conference, but it kind of felt like a shoot because she sat there professionally talking about how she's going to win her match. I know, I just like those sit-down interviews, and I miss every Thursday. They used to do it on WWE.com. They don't do them anymore. I used to enjoy them.
And Bayley's felt real, and I feel like it came from the heart. And I only half paid attention to it. It just felt.
Me too, to be honest.
However, when we get to Charlotte later on, Charlotte just felt like she was cutting a promo. But we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. And then Foley, he goes off and tells Seth Rollins he's facing Zayn. If Zayn wins, though, not only does he get to enter the Rumble, but he gets Seth Rollins' spot, which that I liked. That I did like. And what I liked even more was the qualifying match, Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn. That excitement level, you could have done this for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks you could have done these matches as a main event every single week. But
it is what I think you could have done. And again, I wasn't angry at this, but there's a good idea because Seth, Sami Zayn's better when he's working from underneath, and we want to build him up as the underdog from the underground. Is have it start off with weeks ago and be like, hey, I want to be in the Royal Rumble match. Stephanie goes, sure, but you've got to beat so-and-so and get their spot. So he beats so-and-so next week. So, okay, I'm in the Rumble. So, well, not yet. Now you have to beat so-and-so to get their spot. And just have him go through like 5-6 people until he finally has to beat Seth Rollins for his spot. And that's where, you can get your heat on Triple H, as we're about to get into. And real quick, just I don't want to say it as a side note, but the Rollins-Sami Zayn match was damn good. It's going to get forgotten, which sucks, but it was a pretty damn good match.
Yeah, that won't be forgotten from me anyway. I really, really enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the ending of Triple H music hitting. It distracted Rollins. He's looking around, where the fuck is he? Zayn roll up, gets the win. Really good.
Like
good
that so
match.
Much that he wasn't just staring at the entrance ramp. That he actually started looking around. It's like, this cocksucker's going to be anywhere. Because people are always just staring at the ski. And, you should know that they're going to come up behind you. You know what I mean? I liked that a lot. I thought that was smart.
I just really enjoyed the match, and it built Zayn in the Rumble. And like you said, imagine if they did Zayn qualifying, and then the moment Zayn finally qualified, you would be like, yes, yes. Like, obviously, you're excited Zayn's qualifying, but you'd have been more excited if they built this for weeks and weeks. Yeah. But let's not look back on
the underdog from the underground.
Yeah, they really do. Now, how about this? So we'll go star rating for this, because I actually did enjoy this. Now, this building towards Rollins and H, will we get that at Rumble? Because
no, we're going to get this at
I reckon Rollins' job on the show will not be to wrestle. He'll come out, start off the show, maybe cutting a promo saying he wants in the Rumble. I reckon Seth Rollins will be in a qualifying match to kick off the Royal Rumble. That's what I think.
That's a good premise. Either that or, he finally says the one thing that calls, that actually gets Triple H to come out, and Triple H comes out and kind of does like he did with the Taker, and he just looks up at the WrestleMania sign, and then we get a WrestleMania match. Both would be good. I like yours more.
Or what they could do, considering Jericho's not wrestling. He's in the Rumble, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in the Rumble.
That wouldn't make sense. Yeah, I was about to say you could do Jericho Rollins. If Jericho wins, he gets out of the top of the shark cage, and if Rollins wins, he gets into the Rumble. But we can't, because we've already seen Jericho Rollins 18,000 times. We don't really want to see that again. But I gave this 3.5 to 3 3/4 stars because I really fucking enjoyed that match. That was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought it was a good 3.5 stars. And it took the crowd a little bit to get into it. They were kind of sitting on their hands at first. But by the end, they were totally invested.
And it was good because obviously because on the weekend, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I watched the New Japan and CMLL Fantasticamania shows. They were all brilliant. The main event on each show was about 3.5 to 4 stars.
Okay, I've got New Japan World. I bet you I can watch those.
Yeah, you can. They're all on there if you're a subscriber.
Okay,
anyway, so me and SOS Wrestle Talk, we covered all 3. So it was like a whole tour of New Japan and CML, and then it was like, to come from that, just 3 3-hour shows to go all of that, and then to go to Monday Night Raw, you're like, oh fuck, that's like great wrestling down to this, and it was so good to see another good wrestling match. It just, the show needed it.
Yeah,
from me personally, because all the good wrestling I watched it will make me hate the show even more. So I was glad this was there. Built Zayn in the Rumble nicely. Built Rollins H in the Rumble nicely. Now we're going to do a Rumble preview predictions probably Wednesday. Now obviously you might be able to join us, you might not be because I know you're going away. Mm-hmm. But considering the fact that I think you are going away, what are your thoughts on how far Sami Zayn will go in the Rumble, if he could win the Rumble, or do you think this is just another contender who could possibly win the Rumble?
I think he's a possible contender. I don't want to say I think. This is how I would book it. I would not have him win, but I would have him be the last person eliminated, and I would have him survive from number 3.
How about you have Stephanie at the kickoff of the show saying everyone's picking their number, then as Zayn goes to pick, she slams the door.
Yeah.
She goes, Zayn, you may have won your shot, you sneaky cunt, but I've got you, your number right here. And she pulls him and she gives him number 1. Because even more sympathy and the underdog story for Sami Zayn even more.
Exactly. I like that idea. And then have him survive maybe till the end and be the last person eliminated. And because for the first time in a while, despite what a bunch of people on my feed on Facebook and other friends think that just they're 100% sure they know who's going to win, and it's so predictable. Yeah. I don't know who's going to win. I have no idea. There's a couple of people like, oh, it's so obvious Undertaker's going to win.
No.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I don't know who's going to win this year.
And we're very critical on WWE. Like we always, if it's bad, we bury it. And this Rumble, I'm excited for AJ Cena.
Yep.
I'm excited for Owens and Reigns because I want Owens to win that damn badly. The Rumble match, you could have Taker win, you could have Goldberg win, you could have Lesnar win. You know, you could have a surprise win. You could have Zayn win now because he looked strong and they actually trusted him with that. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
And that's 4. Normally, we're like, okay, Reigns or such and such a win. Here we've got 4. You know, Randy Orton is always a contender because, you know, if you're built a sports entertainer or if you're built a Royal Rumble winner from the ground up, you get Randy Orton. But the one thing I hated about this was Rollins went backstage and he was screaming at Foley saying, look, you know, this is bullshit. Where is Triple H? And then Foley's like, look, I'll get to the bottom of this. Don't worry. There was nothing other mentioned on the show about this.
No. Maybe the social media stuff, which is kind of the problem that we talked about with ROH, where like sometimes if you want to get the full story, you've got to look at all like their Facebook, Instagram, Twitter to kind of get the full story of something happened behind the stage, which is what we've criticized ROH for, is if you want to watch and actually see everything that happens for ROH, you've got to watch like fucking 14 hours of shit. And as much wrestling as me and you watch, we ain't got that kind of fucking commitment. I would love to be able to get paid enough to watch that much wrestling, but I just ain't got that commitment. I can't even squeeze in fucking 205 Live right now.
Oh, dude, I choose not to watch that garbage.
I try, dude. I want to watch it, but they give me no reason to.
I'm off on cruiserweights now. I've had enough.
I love cruiserweights, which pisses me off. But, you know, whatever. Different rant for a different day.
No, it's not, because up next you have the cruiserweight match. You have Tabari and Nice versus Mustafa Ali, TJ, I'm going for a fucking pee, and Jack Gallagher. Now, this is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why the cruiserweights and the 205 Live sucks. And if you think that, no, it's really good, watch good cruiserweight high-flying wrestling at Lucha Underground. How about this? These guys are going out there, they're doing the WWE slow, methodical, psychology, story-based bullshit, which is the reason half the roster isn't over in the first place, and they're doing it for guys who no one knows. No one knows Mustafa Ali, okay? And you know what? After this match, they still don't even care who Mustafa Ali is. These guys need to have... They could have done this, okay? The purpose of this match was to get Mustafa Ali over. Tony Nese, you doing nothing. This guy jobs every week on 205 Live. Have Mustafa Ali versus Tony Nese in a 6-minute, which is what this went, spot fest. They go out there, they fucking balls to the wall spot fest. The crowd are going, this is awesome, holy shit. And then next time they're on television, they're going to care. And then you do another spot fest, you do another one. And then at the pay-per-view, you can do the long storytelling, psychology-based matches like WCW used to do, and look how successful WCW fucking thing is. 205 Live. 205 Live. 45 minutes long. Sorry, cough. 45 minutes long. You can have 3 free 6 to 8 minute squash spot fests and 1 20-minute match that can be the WWE style if they have to get their shit in. That can build the story.
That's what pisses me off, is they have all the talent in there to be able to do this. And like, honestly, as a match, this wasn't a terrible match. There are some things I liked. Really, the only shining beacon, one of the only, I won't say the only one of the only shining beacons in 205 right now is Jack Gallagher to me. I fucking love Jack Gallagher. But I want to see, and I'm sure this match has happened, I just haven't watched progress, but I want to see him versus Marty Scurll in an umbrella match, and whoever loses has to give up their umbrella forever. I need that in my life. It's not a want anymore. That has to happen. But I mean, I love Jack Gallagher. I'm a huge Jack Gallagher mark, but you know, TJ Perkins kind of had his time to shine and kind of blew it, even though I still think he can be good in the ring. Mustafa Ali was pretty impressive. We just don't give a fuck. And everybody on the other side of the ring, I could give a shit about. It was awful. Tony Nese, Drew, I really need to wear knee pads, Gulak, and I don't even remember who the other guy was.
Daivari.
Davari, yeah, that shows you how much I fucking care. As much as me and LK know about wrestling, and y'all know we know more than your average fucking bear, I could barely name you all three of those people.
How's that? Like, look at right. Last week there was a WWE show, a TNA show, an ROH show, a New Japan show, a CMLL show, NXT show, and normally a Lucha Underground show, but that's off on hiatus. And we still don't really give a fuck or know anything about these imbeciles because we don't care, because they don't give us a reason to care, minus a 6-man throwaway. That could have been Nice, Ali, Spotfest. We could have come on here and say, oh, that spot there, oh, that was awesome. Instead, they're doing nothing with it. And I'm not going to give it a rating because I'm biased. I don't want to watch Neville versus Rich one. I might go for a piss during that. New Day come out. They claim they're going to win the Rumble. Enzo and Cass interrupt. My fuck, they're over. Cass says he's entering the Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn, mate, you should have just done that. Rusev and then juiced up Jinder interrupts. Rusev says, why he, out of everything to talk about in a serious moment promoting the Rumble, he goes, why do you have Big in your name, Cass and Big E? Like, out of everything, they're building the Rumble and they start like that. Come on.
I'll be honest, I don't like this segment was on TV. I didn't watch it. It was there. I was in the room. My eyes were looking at it. I didn't watch it.
Rusev entered the Rumble. Titus comes out again. He announces an 8-man tag. Strowman's on the there was the 8-man tag. Michael Cole goes, Jinder Mahal is one of the most improved superstars on Monday Night Raw. Fuck me. Rusev pouring blood from the nose, quite funny. Strowman hits a power slam to get the win. And then kind of big show comes out. He's obviously he's been lended stuff from Juiced Up Jinder. Show and Strowman have a stare down. Strowman leaves. Second time in 2 weeks, the monster here with the brand has left due to part-timers. He looks like a pussy. This is why full-time members are not over, because they are scared of the part-timers. It should be the other way fucking round.
I would agree. In fucking Big Show, like, all credit to him. I love Big Show. He's a fraternity brother, which is cool. Also, one of the hardest times, quick story, one of the hardest times I've ever laughed in my entire life. I was watching it with my brother, and he's already coming down the ring. My brother's like, well, he's a bit slow. And I laugh every time I hear his fucking theme music now because of that.
Speaking of funny, we have Jericho versus Reigns. Kevin Owens on commentary is just burying Byron. He says, stop insulting me. You're a failed pro wrestler and you suck at commentary and you should just focus on being deathly quiet.
Jesus Christ, I love Kevin Owens. I still love Kevin Owens. And everyone, dude, they've ratted on Byron Saxton on the NXT commentary. Like, that's how much people dislike him.
I hate the guy so much. When I watched, I saw Ride Along was on the network. Do you know they have that 24/7 live stream? I just whacked the network up. I think I was just doing some Kocosports network, and I look on the network. I look up, and it's the Ride Along with Michael Cole and JB. I'm like, okay, and then I see that goofball Byron Saxton on there, and do you know what they do? They go to get groceries. They give him a little bit of money so they could go get the groceries. JBL fucking goes quick. He jumps over the top of the car, gets in the car, drives off with Cole with Sexton's bags in the back. Sexton's like, guys, have you seen? He's going around asking people, do you know Michael Cole and JBL? And they're like, no, who are you talking about? I was like, that makes WWE look so bad, the fact that they don't know who they are. But anyway, it was hilarious. They just bashed it.
Unpopular opinion. Byron Saxton, number one heel in the company. Everyone hates Byron. He's the number one heel in the company. Everyone hates Byron Saxton.
And do you remember JBL used to have those bells that he used to just go every time Byron Saxton tried to talk? He did that in his face, and Byron was getting so annoyed. Oh, it was actually very funny and entertaining. I recommend Ride Along with Michael Cole and JBL if you hate Byron Saxton. Anyway, US title match ends when Jericho beats on Reigns. Okay, so you wasted 10 minutes of my life watching a match, trying to get emotionally into it. Like, okay, I don't really want to see it, but I'll try and get emotionally into it so the near falls mean something, but it's just difficult. And that's how bad Raw is. You actually have to try and physically, okay, you got to focus. Let's try and get emotionally into it. And I find that it is definitely a chore, and it's bullshit. Anyway, Jericho and Kevin Owens, they put Reigns in the shark cage. Reigns then beats the shit out of both Kevin Owens and Jericho, puts Kevin Owens in the shark cage. That goes off in the air. Reigns spears Jericho. your champ looks like an absolute jobber. He looks like a joke. So Reigns endured a 10-minute match with a future Hall of Famer in Chris Jericho, and the current US champ battered him and battered the fresh Universal, aka the heavyweight champion of your company. That is bullshit. That is out of order. Yeah, that is disgusting.
I don't hate on Reigns like a lot of people because, you know, he's just fucking getting a paycheck and then he's going to do whatever they tell him to do. Why are they so determined to make him look like, pardon the pun, Superman? God damn it, like, I don't hate Roman Reigns as a human being and as a wrestler. I hate what the creative does with Roman Reigns. It's so fucking unfair. And he's going to be the next fucking Universal Champion, which is going to make that belt look like bullshit. And I don't... God, that upsets me. All they just needed him to do is they need him to take off that fucking vest, win the belt, and then give the big double finger to the entire fucking crowd. Stop pussyfooting around and make him a heel, and I will fucking jump on his bandwagon and just have him start beating the fucking shit out of people. Because him doing that as a heel, I'm completely okay with.
Yeah, they just won't because it's Vince. And then when we come back from the commercial, Jericho gets Kevin Owens out of the cage, and then some bird tells Kevin Owens that the match at the Royal Rumble is now a no DQ match. And then Kevin Owens cuts a really good promo about saying how it's bullshit. Owens cut a really good promo about how that's bullshit. And I quite like saying the match is cancelled, but that's Kevin's last little attempt to not lose the title. Vince, we'll cancel it, Vince. And Vince is like, what are you doing out there, you son of a bitch? And then we went to the sit-down interview with Charlotte. She basically takes the piss out of Bayley's family for being fans and says she'll beat Bayley at the Royal Rumble no matter how confident Bayley is. I enjoyed it. It was simple, effective build towards Royal Rumble, and I'm glad they didn't put this on the fucking WWE YouTube channel.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was worth. I still feel like she got a little too promo-y with it. Like in the beginning, it felt real. But by the end, she was just cutting a promo. And I like that she put heat on her by just completely shitting on Bayley's family. And Bayley's going to lose. Charlotte's going to win. But I didn't mind the segment too much. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, me too. Then we went to Nia Jax versus Ray Lynn. Nia Jax got the win with one of the shittest, I don't know what it was called, piece of offense. It was something.
It was terrible, though.
It was like Yokozuna's finisher from back in the 90s, where he was on the second rope and then he jumped off and squashed him. But Ray Lynn was in the corner, sat up like that instead of lying down. It looked very awkward, and Ray Lynn is probably severely hurt. Post-match, Nia cuts a promo burying Sasha Banks about being forgotten. Sasha comes out with crutches, but then she beats up Nia Jax with the crutches. It's a double knee stomp off the apron to the floor. She's either... Storyline-wise, it's either a case she's faking the injury, or she needs to be fired and announced as a whore. One of the two above will take place. I don't know which one, but damn it, that was either the storyline of, look, my knee's not actually that hurt, I can still kick your ass, or B, she should be unemployed and is a whore.
Yeah, I don't quite get it.
It's I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. Fuck's sake. Then we have Rich Swann versus Noam Dar. Alicia Fox is with Noam Dar. I don't care.
I don't give a fuck about this story.
Like, she's flip-flopping. Speaking of whore, yeah, she's flip-flopping, flying around. I mean, Swan got the woman the kick to the head. Swan wants Neville now. Neville comes out. He's a great heel now. I like Neville. Swan beats...
I love what he's doing as a heel. Like, he reminds me kind of what Pete Dunne's been doing a lot of the British independents. And I dig that. And I think a Pete Dunne Neville match, as Neville is right now, would be fucking incredible. Even though I think Pete Dunne kind of looks like a lesbian that's trying to pass being in a little girl's gymnastics class. Which might be one of the most oddly specific things I've ever called another human being. But he is really fucking talented.
Yeah, I just didn't like Neville running away again. You're having your heels look like Ponce is heading into the pay-per-view. And it's the complete opposite to how they used to book the go-homes from Raw. The go-homes from Raw, their heels got heat, and more heat. So that when the baby faces win, you care. Neville's this badass motherfucker who's been beating people up for the past 2 months. He comes out and then runs away from fucking Rich Swann. Fucking hell. Backstage interview with Cedric. Cedric said he's excited for his focus on the Cruiserweight Championship. And then Fox comes in saying, You won't ever be champ. Dar basically says, look, I apologize for stealing your girlfriend. Alexander pushes Dar out of the way. Alicia Fox should be put in jail for acting that badly. I want her in the Cleveland, Ohio jail cell overnight because that acting was atrocious and she should be ashamed of herself. Whoever thought that was a good idea to put that on television, shame on you, because that was awful.
If I had my way, we just wouldn't even have fucking talked about that segment.
The only way that would happen if it didn't happen, and sadly it did. And then we go on to the awesomeness. So Goldberg comes out. When he's making his entrance, he goes to slap a fan tag.
MVP of the year so far is that guy.
The fan just rips his fucking shirt off. Goldberg is busted open bad.
What did he do? Is what I want to know.
I reckon what it was is. Do you remember? He's bald, so maybe he shaved his head before he went. Maybe he had a little bit of a thing going, and he quickly shaved his head, and he went, "Oh shit, a bit too much." Corey Graves covered it nicely, saying that Goldberg, before his entrance, smashes his head on the door. Yeah. So he covered. I thought Graves covered up very well there. But Goldberg comes out. He butchers the promo 3 times. He then finally does it. He hypes the Rumble match. Says he'll win the Rumble, and he said it with conviction. And what I think the blood actually helped him, because at this point it was pouring down, and him saying with such conviction, like, "I will win. I'll toss 29 other jackasses out, and I'll hit 29 jackhammers, 29 splits," with blood pouring down his face. That was a really cool visual and made him look like a fucking badass.
Agreed.
Heyman interrupts. Heyman does he's so good at making the Rumble match, feel important and excite you that he's nearly as good as Don West. Brock Lesnar comes out, and again, I wasn't expecting this. I didn't think Brock was going to be on this show, so I marked out Goldberg. Goldberg then says, "Are you going to fight or stand there like a dumbass?" Lesnar then circles the ring, jumps up into the apron, gets into the ring. There's a really good, intense stare down. The Taker dong and the lights go out. The lights go back on. Taker, Lesnar, Goldberg, all staring holes at each other's asses. The crowd chant, "Holy shit, this is awesome. Holy shit, this is awesome," to their heart's content. As we go off air, they go off air hot. This is exactly what they needed to do. Very, very, very good job, WWE. For all the shit you put on this show, that was gold. That was magical. That was perfection. That was very, very good. And I very much enjoyed the main event segment of the show.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it.
We'll get to some live comments now.
Yeah, I've got them pulled up if you want me to go through them.
You want to do it? I'm on my mobile, so it's easier for you to do it.
Yeah, I got them pulled up over here. Andy Paps. So, hey, long time no see, brother. He says, "Sup, guy? How's it going? Raw was a weak win. Match of the night was definitely Rollins and Zayn." I would 100% agree.
Agreed.
Yeah, pretty stuff. Heavy J, how you doing, brother? So the show sucked. The ending rocked. Yes. And then, of course, Andy Paps says, Andy Paps, baby. Heavy J also goes on to say, "Raw needs Dario. All wrestling needs Dario." I would watch the Dario Cueto show, and it would be literally him just sitting at a desk writing in his notebook. I'd watch that for 3 fucking hours.
It'd all be amazing. Dario in Big Brother.
That would be pretty kick-ass. I keep waiting for Dario Cueto to show up on some of the other El Rey networks. I just want to see Dario Cueto make a fucking guest spot on Dusk Till Dawn, because they've got me hooked at that point in time. And actually bridge those 2 worlds together. Holy shit, I'm rock hard just talking about that. Let's see. Frenelli says, "Hello, everyone. How are y'all? I'm doing pretty good. Pretty busy. Personal life, business life has been crazy, but it's doing good.
Living the dream."
That's all you can do. Edward Mohan says, "Nice ending for the Go Home show, and then 205 Live sucks," which Ronnie S. immediately responded with, "205 Live is awesome. NXT sucks." And then they go back and forth for a little while.
Damn.
I know, right? Paul Wah, I wonder if he's supposed to be like a Warhammer. Wah! I don't know. Says, "Fuck Jack Gallagher." Which hurts me, man. That hurts me. You didn't have to say that.
I love Paul W. I called him Paul W. because I don't want to get his name wrong. Is actually a Patreon pledger for $5 per month. So Paul W., thank you, my friend. And you can have your opinion. So fuck Jack Gallagher too.
Oh man, fuck both of you guys. I don't like y'all anymore. Kevin Eric Snell, another one of our constant viewers, says, "Kevin Owens buries Byron Saxton, but is somehow still a heel." Why does WWE make their truth tellers heels and their corporate BS spewers babyfaces arg? It's without going on a big rant that I've went on before. Long story short, essentially, babyfaces and heels as we knew them in the past don't exist anymore because in all forms of pop culture, it's cool to like and be the bad guy nowadays, and that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I got to say about that.
Not much to add there. Just shame and embarrassing.
Yeah. Okay.
Edward Mahal.
Mahal. Says JBL abuses Saxton on Ride Along.
It's fucking amazing.
I need to watch that. I'll always fucking have his name. Anti-M Bishop. I fuck your name up every single time. So the only thing I liked was Taker, Brock, and Goldberg, which is fair. Like, if you didn't like other parts of it, that's completely cool too. And Mohan also said Neville looks like he belongs on Game of Thrones.
Oh, do you not love that show?
I do. I love that show, but I have absolutely no idea what connection you're talking about.
Goblin. He looks. I guess. Yeah. There's not really any. He could be an elf, maybe.
He's an elf. Like, that is what an 18 Dex looks like. But please explain, because I would love to know your reasoning behind that. Our good friend Andy Paps goes on to say, "Did you hear about Pentagon and Drago living Triple H?" We did. Me, LK, and Booms all have a Facebook feed that we talk back and forth with one another, and Boom sends a lot of news stories, and we saw that, and y'all know how fucking huge I am on Pentagon Jr. I know he's changing his name to like Penta El Ohm or whatever it is. I'm still going to call him Pentagon Jr. He went to Pentagon Dark. I still call him Pentagon Jr.
Yeah, me too. His new name is like something like Penta. Is here. Anti-M Bishop says Penta's now Penta El Om. I guess if that could be a bad thing, because then he's like, okay, I'm distancing myself away from Pentagon Jr., which is what he's called in Lucha Underground. So maybe he's not sticking around Lucha Underground, which is a sad thing. But I hope he does. I hope he does stick with Lucha Underground.
Or maybe that's why they changed his name to Pentagon Dark.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Y'all know fucking Cierro Muerto for life. You. I love 63. You're only fucking 6 numbers away from being right. Says Alicia's promo with Alexander Dar was horrific. I genuinely didn't even watch it. Like, again, my eyes were on the TV, but I didn't fucking pay attention.
No, I sadly did watch it because it's one of those things where I knew I was going to get angry when I watched it, so I thought, fuck it, let's really watch it and let's just get myself fucking angry, and it worked. It really, really worked.
All right. Yeah, they succeeded. Again, fucking Byron Saxton, #1 heel in the company. Kevin Eric Snell goes on to say, I'm surprised some flunky didn't try and cover up Goldberg's bloody forehead with a towel.
Yeah, that's quite short. Because if you think about it, I think anyway, they're going to use the promo that Goldberg cut in a lot of their promotional material for the Rumble itself when they're doing the marketing on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So I think it was silly to not have someone come in with a towel, but I think how annoying that would have been and killed the moment if Goldberg's in there cutting a promo and some fucking imbecile's there with a fucking towel. Right, cool way to not do that. Your marketing team or someone could just edit out the blood. You guys can do that.
That'll probably be their best bet. Let's see. Andy Paps tells us to add him on Facebook. As soon as I get a chance, I will actually try and do that. Paul Waugh, if I'm saying your name right, has a message redacted, which scares me.
No, I think dude. No. He said fuck Jack Gallagher, and no, maybe
it says message retracted, which hurts my. You can tell us what you have to say, man. No. I didn't really say it meant I hate you. I like you. No.
Maybe he said message retracted about. What does that mean?
It's in italics and it says message retracted. Like he must have typed something and then deleted it. It's the best I can think. Tell us what you're saying. Let's see. Edward Mohan says Neville looks like a knight for a House Stark. Fair.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Fair. I can see what you're saying. The last two of the night, our boy Andy Papp says New York City Indies are on fire right now. So many alternatives, which is awesome. I actually want to plan I want to plan a trip sometime to New York soon. I really want to go to New York to get just a vacation for myself, and I might take somebody with me. I haven't decided yet. And one of the things I want to do is I want to go to WrestlePro. I really want to see a WrestlePro show. beyond just the history of New York City, because I'm fucking, I have a degree in history, so that's what I want to see. But yeah, dude, you're totally right. I really like New York. There's a lot of wrestling renaissances and golden age right now. Britain, the entire United Kingdom is in a fucking golden age. New York's having a renaissance. California's having a renaissance. There's a bunch of good shit going on.
Agreed.
Heavy J says, what are your feelings on Kenny Omega possibly leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling? I don't think he's going to leave New Japan Pro Wrestling.
No.
Especially if you listen to him on the Jericho podcast that he did. He has New Japan by the fucking balls. He can get them to do damn near anything he wants, so he's not going to leave. They would have to offer him fucking loads of money to leave. Last one, Paul Wall gives us the mystery has been solved. He said it was LOL.
No.
I was hoping it was this big, long tirade about like the nature of the world and what we're going into, but it was LOL. Next time, hit us with one of those. I said it right. Yeah, so it's totally your name is a Wall from you're an orc. You were an orc from Warhammer. You were a Wall. You're my new best friend. And that's what we got, guys. That's going to do us for some live comments.
Thank you all for live comments. And if you're watching post-live, don't be scared. Just pop in there, win, loss, or tie, and I'll reply to every single one of you as long as it's very civil and it's a question. And I'll try and reply to every single one post-live. You can follow me on Twitter at LK- I think it's underscore. I said underhore by accident. last show. I said
there,
underhore.
man.
LK_ Kocosports. You can find me then. Also, you can find me on Facebook. I think it was Andy Patch who said links in the description box. I've finally set up a Facebook page. Not a Facebook page, a Facebook account. So you can contact me there. And Ricardo Edwards today sent me a message about the new DDT universe, and he said he likes it. So I might give that a shot later this month because I know they got a live event. I think it's this Sunday. But yeah, Kocosports.net also. Check that website. I'm updating that daily. I'm going to spend a lot of time tomorrow updating that. So check that out because I've got a day off work tomorrow. And then Wednesday and Thursday I'm working. And then Friday to the next Friday I'm off the whole week, baby. Paid vacation. So lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of updates on Kocosports.net. So that's the home for combat sports. I cover boxing, MMA, and pro wrestling. Also, this Friday, myself and SOS Wrestle Talk are going to cover Bellator 170, featuring Tito Ortiz and Chael Sonnen. Was that a work? Was it not? Exciting times. Really enjoying my MMA recently. Go back and check out the New Japan and CMLL Fantasticamania reviews. We reviewed all 3 shows. If you watched one, watch that one. If you watched all 3, watch all 3. They're about an hour long each, so enjoy them. Lots to talk about today, so thank you for joining me as always, Sammy. Good to have you back. Looking forward to having you, maybe, possibly...
It's going to drop some truth on you, you beautiful bitch. I'm out of town the rest of this week. I've got to go to, those of you who are familiar with Alabama, I live in Birmingham. I've got to travel to Huntsville. I will be there for a week out of town. And then after that, I actually got promoted, and I will be back in Birmingham full-time because I'm getting my own store. So hopefully with that, I can't make promises, but hopefully I'll be able to do some more shows.
But will you be joining me for the Royal Rumble review?
Tentatively, as it is right now, I leave work at 2 o'clock. It takes me about 2 hours to get home. So, yes, I should. If I don't have people staying over, because I usually make a big event out of the Royal Rumble, if I don't people have staying over, then, yes, I will be here for a review.
If you don't, you got a mad Englishman. No, I'm joking. If you don't, I'll have to... Just tell me when you know, because then I can...
I will.
I'll try and figure something out. So... Thanks for joining me as always, Sammy. Kocosports.net. Like, comment, and subscribe. I want to thank you all new subscribers because our goal was 7,000 by the Royal Rumble. We're already well past that into the 7,030. So thank you all new subscribers. Hoping you're enjoying all the content. We are working harder than Pensacola strippers over here. So stay safe, stay well. From LK, from Sammy. We'll both be catching your asses down the line.
Watch out.